You're listening to The Monetized Mom, the podcast that teaches moms of faith how to monetize their expertise online to create influence, impact, income, and more importantly, financial independence. I'm your host, Flo Alexander. Let's chat. Hey mama, if you're listening to this, I know one thing about you. You want to be able to exit your corporate career so that you can spend more time with your spouse and kids, have the freedom to travel and live life on your own terms, all while creating real transformation and impact in the lives of others with your expertise. Well, you're in luck. I just released a new case study on the method moms are using to build a profitable online business, make a full-time income from home, and quit their 9-to-5. You can access it now at themonetizedmom.com/study. That's themonetizedmom.com/study. Again, themonetizedmom.com/study. Let's get on with the show. Have you ever struggled with being consistent in your business, whether that's posting content or just simply showing up in your business? Have you struggled with consistency? Well, I'm super excited because today I'm going to be sharing the 3 reasons why you're struggling to be consistent in your business and how to get better at it. So if you are struggling with consistency, then you definitely want to stay tuned to this one, okay? So here's the thing. I get the privilege of speaking with and interacting with a lot of moms who are trying to grow their business so that they can eventually leave their corporate career. And in talking with them and discussing some of the struggles that they have, the number one struggle that I hear from these moms is that they struggle with consistency. They struggle with consistency. So of course, I wanted to address this because I've been hearing it so many times. Here's the thing. We're going to jump into the reason that most moms struggle with consistency, but let's make this abundantly clear. The reason is not your kids. The reason is not your kids. We're not going to blame the kids, but these are the 3 reasons. So if you are new to me, go ahead and grab a pen and paper so that you can take notes because you definitely want to write these down, okay? Write these down. So the number one reason that you're struggling with consistency when it comes to your business is you don't have a clear purpose for what you are doing. I'll say that again. You do not have a clear purpose for what you are doing. Knowing why you are doing something matters. And if you are a mom, especially to kids who are older, perhaps adolescents or, teenage years, you always get the question of why. Why am I being asked to do something? Like they're always asking why, right? So now, if you grew up old school, then the response is always going to be because I said so. But there is something to asking why. We have a natural inclination to know why we have to do something, why something is a certain way. Like we are wired to be curious. Why you're doing something is important when it comes to your business. So why are you posting content? Like, is it because someone on the internet told you that that's what you needed to do if you were a business owner? But if you want to be consistent, like that is not a good enough answer. Because I told you to is not a good enough answer. You need to understand why you're doing it and what the purpose of it is in order for you to be consistent. So I remember actually being in physical therapy. It might have been last year or the year before. I've been in physical therapy for a couple of years for different things. But I was in physical therapy and I remember I was going at that time for a knee injury or whatever it was. I was having problems with my knee. It could be that, I was getting older. I had gained weight from having kids, whatever. But I was having issues with my knee. And I remember the therapist making me do these god-awful hip exercises. Is where you had to like open up your hips and hold it and it would burn like nobody's business. But I remember asking her one day, I'm like, what does this have to do with my knee? Like, why am I doing these hip exercises that I don't want to do? Like I had to do hip raises. I had to do all kinds of stuff. And I was like, this does not make sense to me. Why am I doing it? And I asked her why. And she told me, well, if you can get your hip strengthened, and there's this band, I think it's like the iliotibial band. I've had that injured before, but it goes from like your hip area down to your knee. And if you can strengthen that, it can help align your knee so that you're not having the issues that you're having. So she gave me a purpose for having to do that every day. So because I knew what I had to do or why I was doing it, then I had the motivation to be consistent and get down on that floor every day and do those hip exercises that I hated to do. So when it comes to your business, you need to understand the purpose of what you are doing. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you even building your business? Like, you have to understand the why, the purpose behind it, in order for you to have the motivation, in order for you to logically think that this is something that you need to be consistent in doing. Okay. So, number one is you have to understand your purpose. So, let's break down the purpose of content, because a lot of people struggle with being consistent when it comes to content. Let's break down the purpose of that. You don't just post for the sake of posting, right? None of you are in business just because you want to post content on social media, or you want to send out emails, or you want to, post blog posts, whatever it is that you're doing. None of us are in business for the sole intent of posting content. Your ultimate goal is to actually grow your business, right? You want to grow your business, but in order to grow your business, a part of that is making more money. And ultimately, you want to grow your business and make enough money so that you can leave your career and have more time for the family, to travel, and the self-care. But in order to make more money in your business, ultimately, you're going to have more customers or more clients. Well, in order to get more customers or more clients, you have to get more leads. Well, in order to get more leads, you have to have compelling content that's going to drive them to a lead magnet that converts them into a lead. So just from being a follower to someone actually on your email list that you can contact. Well, in order to drive traffic to that lead magnet, right, you need to create content and post it so that people can see it and find enough value in it to take action. So it's not just about doing the action. You have to understand the purpose behind it. Again, you're not in business just to post content, unless, of course, you are a social media influencer and you get paid to post content. But for the rest of us who are building bigger businesses that are more than just that, right? The purpose of posting content is just not to just check off a box to say that you've done it. The purpose is, like I just explained, is for you to get engagement, get an audience, right? To get eyeballs on your valuable content, so that they can be driven to a lead magnet, which allows them to get more valuable content, to opt into your email list to become leads, so that they can then become customers, which means that you can then make money and make more money to grow your business, so that you can grow your business to do other things that you want to do in life, right? So you have to think beyond, I got to do this task because someone told me to do it. And you have to understand that you are doing this task for a purpose. So you need to understand what the purpose is for you doing that task in your business if you want to be consistent. Okay. You have to understand the purpose. First things first, you got to understand the purpose. The second reason that you struggle with consistency in your business is you don't have a clear plan for what you're doing. You don't have a clear plan for what you're doing. Here's the thing, and I posted this on Instagram like earlier this week or something, right? You have to have a plan if you want to be consistent. Consistency takes planning. If you want to consistently eat well, right? For those of us, it's about to be that season of the year where we are hibernating and we are putting on that extra weight from the year. But if you want to be consistent in eating well, you have to plan to eat well, right? So that means buying the right groceries. That means meal prepping. That means keeping healthy snacks on you. I'm trying to get my life together, y'all. My birthday is next week. Shameless plug. My birthday is next week. And so I'm like, I'm going to do a cleanse. I'm going to get myself together. I'm getting older, y'all. I'm about to be in my mid 30s, right? I'm a real adult. And so I started making sure that I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this cleanse, if I want to feel better, I need to start snacking better, because your girl has been falling off with the snacks. So I bought my bag of carrots and I've been eating my carrots, right? So if you want to be healthy, you got to plan to be healthy. If you want to be successful and consistent in your business, you have to plan to be consistent and therefore successful in your business. It just does not happen. Like, it doesn't just happen. Things don't just happen. You have to plan for it. And just like with health, most of us fall off of our journey of consistency because we stop planning. Just think about it. Like, we go hard at the beginning of the year. We got the gym bag packed the night before and put in our car. We got the meals planned out. We got the meals prepped. We are ready. The moment you stop planning is the moment that you are no longer consistent, and the moment that you are no longer hitting your goals, right? It all takes planning. It takes planning, and with planning, it takes preparation. So what does that mean for your business, right? Plan for things that need to get done in your business. Simple, right? When it comes to content, have a content calendar. Have a plan for your content. Plan for the things that need to get done. Schedule it out. Have your content calendar. Plan what you're going to post ahead of time so that you can create it ahead of time and so that you can schedule it ahead of time. That's how you become consistent. Write this down, y'all. Write this down because I'm not going to say this again. And I absolutely mean this. Write this down. Write this down. I'm only going to say it one. I'm about to give y'all a $10,000 tip that I only share inside of my coaching program. And I'm not making this up, for real. You'll never have a shortage of content ideas if you follow this formula: promotional, educational, motivational, day in the life, ask a question, signature story. Like I'm only saying it once. That was the one time. If you caught it, you caught it. If you didn't, watch the replay, right? But that is a formula that you can use to have an endless supply of content ideas if that's an area that you struggle with and that's causing you to be inconsistent when it comes to posting your content. If you follow that formula, you will never run out of content ideas. Now, don't trip. I did not give y'all all the goods. Okay. I didn't give y'all all the goods, but you can get somewhere and get going with what I just gave you. And I'm not going to repeat it because I know some of y'all want me to repeat it, but I'm not going to repeat it, right? So the point here is if you want to be consistent with your content, you have to have a plan. You need to have a plan. You need to have a content calendar. You need to batch create it. You need to schedule it and you need to automate it. And that's how you can become consistent. Plan what you're going to be doing that week in business. So it's not just about content, right? You can be inconsistent when it comes to doing the other tasks that you have to do in your business, managing the finances, doing bookkeeping, just plainly promoting your business. Like you can be inconsistent in that too. So you also need to plan for those tasks that you need to do in your business. Have a plan of things that you need to get done. Plan ahead. And I actually just posted on Instagram this week on what I call the Power Hour schedule, which is something that you can do every day of the week. And I think I skipped Saturday because who's trying to do that, right? But things that you can do every day of the week in your business if you're not sure what you need to be working on, okay? So check that out. It's on the profile. If you're like, well, I don't know what I need to be planning for the week, go check that post out and it'll tell you exactly what you can be doing each and every day in order to grow your business, okay? All right. So the third reason, or for the second thing, if you want to get better and be more consistent, plan what needs to get done. Plan and prepare for what needs to get done. The third thing that you need to know, the third reason that you struggle with consistency is you don't see the payoff in what you're doing. You don't see the payoff in what you're doing. So I've been there before, right? I've been on a fitness journey. I'm like, this thing is not working, quit. And you are no longer consistent with that, right? So if you aren't seeing results, it's very easy for you to quit and no longer be consistent because at the end of the day, you think it's not worth it, right? But it's just like getting fit. Progress is more than just the scale. Progress is more than just the scale. It's the inches, it's the endurance, it's the energy, it's how things fit. It is more than just what the number says on the scale. So when it comes to business, you have to be measuring the right things. Are you measuring the right things, or are you just looking at vanity metrics and assuming that things are not working or that you aren't making progress? That's the question. So are you actually looking at the right things? We're not, again, in the analogy of health and fitness, you're not just looking at the scale because that doesn't give you a full indication of how much progress you made in your health journey, right? The same with business. We're not just looking at follower counts. And also, we're not just looking at the top line sales number, right? We're not just looking at the top line income. And actually today, another shameless plug, the podcast dropped where I talk about 3 things that you can be looking at to measure growth in your business that are not social media followers, and that is not your sales number, because there is so much more that you can look at to measure growth within your business. So when you're talking about being consistent and you're feeling like, well, I'm not making progress, I'm not seeing results, I'm not seeing a payoff for my work, the question is, are you actually looking at the right thing to determine whether or not you are actually being making progress and having growth, right? So measuring the right thing is important if you want to be consistent. Because again, if you're not seeing a payoff for the work that you're doing, it's going to be easy for you to quit because you're going to be like, well, it's not working. Well, then I'm going to say, well, are you looking at the right metrics? Are you looking at the right things to make that reasonable deduction? And if you are measuring the right things, do you know what to do and how to pivot if you aren't getting the results that you want? So again, the third reason that you are struggling to be consistent is because you are not seeing the payoff for what you are doing. And in order to get better at this, you have to make sure you're actually measuring the right things in your business to know if you're actually getting payoff. So looking at the right results, not looking at vanity metrics, or AKA what we're going to call, we're not just looking at the scale. We're looking at other things that are going to be indicators that what we are doing is actually growing our business and leading us in the right direction. Okay. So I said I had 3 things, but I got a 4th thing, a bonus thing for y'all for free. I'm gonna give it to y'all for free, kind of like I gave y'all the content formula that you can use for free. So here's the bonus. The 4th reason that you're struggling with consistency is you're waiting for things to be perfect. How many perfect patties do I have on here? How many perfect patties do I have? Like when you go on a job interview and they ask you, well, what are some of your areas of improvement? And your response is going to be, I'm a perfectionist. How many perfect patties do I have with me today? Look, be honest. Just say it's me. It's me. I am she. I am she. I am she. I'm perfect patty, right? The reason that you're struggling to be consistent is because you are waiting for things to be perfect. You're thinking that the graphic isn't right. Right. The website isn't done. You don't have the brand photos. Oh, Lord, don't get me started on that. Right. You don't have the brand photos, or you don't think you're qualified, and you just need one more certification in order for you to put yourself out there and be consistent. Here is the thing. Perfect will never come. Perfect will never come. As long as I have been online, and I started blogging was the first thing I did online as a personal brand, was back in 2012. It's been over a decade. Ain't nothing perfect about what I do. Nothing is perfect about what I do. As a matter of fact, Instagram has been tripping this whole time. It's nothing going to be perfect. Perfect will never come. And here's the reality. And I'm just saying, y'all can get mad if I say it. If you scared, just say you scared. If you scared, just say you scared. Because at the end of the day, we can deal with fear, but what we cannot deal with is excuses. We can deal with fear, but we cannot deal with excuses. So if you're afraid of what people will say, if you're afraid that you can actually be successful, if you're afraid that you don't necessarily know all the things, you don't know what you're doing, we can deal with that. We can deal with imposter syndrome. We can deal with fear, but we cannot deal with excuses. Okay, so I'll just leave that one right there. All right. So the 4th reason, the bonus that I'm giving you, the bonus reason that you are struggling with being consistent when it comes to your business, bonus number 4, is that you're waiting for things to be perfect, and perfect will never come. Perfect will never come. All right. So let me do a quick recap for y'all. I know some of y'all are joining late. Y'all the late church members is coming in, right? Nonetheless, let me do a recap for you guys, and make sure you watch the replay. The number one reason that you're struggling to be consistent in your business, number 1, you don't have a clear purpose for what you are doing. So in order to get better and more consistent, you have to have a clear purpose for what you're doing. Go back and watch the replay if you're just joining, because I broke down exactly why you should be posting content consistently, so you have a clear understanding of why you're doing what you're doing, and you're not just doing what someone told you to do. So that's number 1. The second reason is you don't have a clear plan for what you're doing. You don't have a clear plan. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know I love alliteration. So if you haven't figured it out already, they all start with P. So, right. So number 1 is purpose. Number 2, you don't have a clear plan for what you're doing. So you need to create a plan for what needs to get done in your business. In order to be consistent, you have to have a plan. Once you stop planning, that is the moment that you become inconsistent. You are no longer consistent. So you have to have a clear plan for what needs to be done, whether that's content that you need to create or general tasks within your business that you need to do throughout the week. You have to have a plan for what needs to get done in your business. The third reason that you're struggling with consistency in your business is you don't see the payoff for what you're doing. You do not see the payoff for what you're doing. You hitting it in the gym, you eating right, but you're not seeing the scale going down. So when it comes to business, You need to make sure that you're measuring the right things that will show growth. Make sure you're measuring the right things in your business to know if you're actually getting a payoff. Look at the right results. We're not going to be looking at vanity metrics. We're going to be looking at those things that actually give us an indication of true growth in our business and are not just vanity numbers. And number 4, I gave you a bonus. The 4th reason that you are struggling to be consistent in your business is you're waiting for things to be perfect. And here's the reality: it will never be perfect. Just do it. As always, I hope that you found this episode helpful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. And with that, I'll talk to you in the next episode.